I definitely believe that, like, okay, so I am willing to compromise on the waiting until marriage, but it's really situation based. It's something that I recently came to terms with, like after the shrooms. It's been within the past like 4 months that I was like, okay, I feel like I want to wait until marriage. But that's something that I'm willing to like compromise on, or kind of. Well, it's more so me just enforcing a boundary that I haven't enforced before, of saying, okay, I want to withhold or wait to have sex with people before, so that I can feel chemistry with them and not convolute it with sex, because sex will convolute any chemistry that you have, and it'll ruin the potential of a good relationship.
Can I ask you a question? What if there was a scenario where you meet a guy, and could you imagine a scenario where, for example, you meet a guy that he's not inclined to wait until marriage, but let's say you do have sex with him, he really likes you, you guys get into a long-term relationship, you guys end up dating for 1 or 2 years, sex is great, you guys love each other, monogamous relationship, he now ends up proposing to you, you guys get married, you get the man.
Okay. That sounds like a great...
But by, let's say in this scenario, he knows exactly what he's looking for in a relationship, and that's a sexual relationship.
Okay.
And that would potentially close the door on a guy who could otherwise end up being your future husband, life partner. Any thoughts on that?
Like I said, I'm willing to compromise. So if it's really important to him, then I'm expecting him to communicate that to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I really need sex in a relationship. And I would completely understand that, and I would sympathize with it, because I'm like, I am someone who wants sex too, but I'm also someone who in the past has made irresponsible decisions when I was younger, and I don't want to like... So
you would like to wait until marriage, but if presented with an attractive enough partner, you would...
Does that sound like... Can I make that decision? Is that like greedy or what?
It sounds selfish.
Okay, but everyone's selfish.
I think you're totally valid.
Does anybody, what's the panel's thoughts on the whole, like, well, you've had sex with 20 people. I'm not saying that's the case for you, but you've had sex with 20, 30, 40 people. First night, second night, third night. Then Prince Charming comes along and, oh, hold on. I gave it to the fuck boys instantly, but the guy who's actually ought to be deserving of sexual access, you get to wait. Your thoughts on that, panel? Go ahead.
I think that anybody can change. Like, drug addicts get sober all the time. People get saved. And so I think people can genuinely decide, I want to be reborn in one way or another. And that's valid. But if the partner comes along and he can't respect her boundaries on that, then he's not meant for her to begin with. It's an incompatibility issue at that point, and you will find somebody who will respect that. And you shouldn't just let anybody make you change your mind on what you morally think is right.
Yeah.
And a man who is Prince Charming won't try to force you to.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
And
I don't think it's about... I don't think he would force her. He would just
walk out. He would.
Yeah, and he's entitled to do that.
Good. He'd leave. Any thoughts from you?
I'd agree, sir. I think we're just all very sexual beings, especially men, and I mean that's a hard sell, I think, for most guys. But I do see this is totally a valid point, and that's what I was gonna say first, is that like people can change, and like my promiscuity used to be higher, and now I really don't have a desire for men.
Can confirm.
At all, besides mine.
Right.
Women, obviously, different story, but...
Like, I'm not saying that women shouldn't change for the better, can't change for the better, but it's like, don't expect men to accept your past, because we also have a right of discernment and judgment, just as you do. So
that's totally fair too.
And I mean, I can see why it seems weird, but it's also like, I'm not going to judge. I'm not as judgmental of the guy if he's made a decision, whatever decision, like informed by his past experiences.
At least from the male perspective, it's one thing like if she's a virgin or like that's always been her standard.
Right.
Maybe not like the marriage thing, but she's like, okay, well, I want to wait until we're in like a serious long-term relationship. She's only been with 1, 2, 3 other guys. That she always waited like 1, 2, 3 months before having sex. But I think it's just like the switch up of like the shifting in values. Because I think one of the concerns that might be the case, maybe not marriage, but let's say a girl wants to wait 3 months to have sex. It's like, okay, did you do that for the last guy? And then what about the guy that's going to probably be after me?
Yeah.
Because like that's the crazy thing is like when a girl's like, oh, I've got a 60-day rule. And then like,
they've never
I've
enforced
not done that
it.
shit, but
They've never enforced it.
Can I say something really quick? I actually
Yeah.
have a friend who just, even with her boyfriend, her current boyfriend, like they've hooked up plenty of times. And then she was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to Jesus. And they're both very attractive people. He's a very attractive guy. And he's actually respecting her going celibate.
oh wait, so they were dating?
Yes.
Oh, this is interesting.
They are still
Okay.
dating.
I've heard about this a little bit, but okay,
Yeah.
so they're dating. They were dating. They were having sex. She became religious, found
And
Jesus.
he's not.
Interesting.
And then, so they were having sex. They're still together, but then she's like, let's not have sex anymore.
Yeah, she's like, morally, I just feel like God's putting it on my heart to like wait until marriage. And he actually is going along with it. Yeah.
I mean, men.
I hope he comments.
I mean,
If
look,
you're watching Hillary.
That's brave.
Is he intending to marry her? How long they been together?
Ooh, I don't know, like maybe a year. They live together. They have a really healthy relationship.
He's cheating.
No, he didn't. I promise he's not.
I mean, he would be 100%.
I mean, I don't trust anybody, but he's not cheating on her.
It would be 100% pretext for a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
He would be 100% in the right to break up with her.
Yeah, like if he decided he wanted to. I'm not
but
saying it's not valid.
He also seems to be, if he's okay with it, I mean, I suppose that's fine, but...
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have different standards, but I think it's
That is
fair if
interesting.
men are like, you know what, I'm not cool with this. But not all men are going to be that way.
I've actually had 1 or 2 similar experiences to that sort of, but like earlier on, which has been very peculiar. So I've hooked up once, twice, 3 times with a girl, and then she's like, can we like pump the brakes? Can we? And like, that's not,
Was it like
that's
religious
not
reasons?
A good look. Nope.
Ooh.
Just like, yeah.
I don't know if I'd tell people that.
Isn't it though dependent on the guy and his tolerance?
Well, no. This is
for-
what it is. This is what I think it is in that situation. Is that so? Hooked up with the girls, and then they're like, oh, I don't know. Like they still want to date me, but they're like, I feel like we moved too quick. You know. I think it's that they want to they want to leverage it into a long-term relationship. But at that point, the cat's out of the fucking bag. And I just feel like that's way too much like carrot on the stick. It's way too much you trying to like withhold or leverage sex because it was never, we already hooked up. Now you want to reel it back to try to get me into a long-term relationship. So those invariably, I was just like,
that's weird. If it's for religious reasons, I can understand it. But I mean, and I think everybody has a right to their own body and what they want to do. But that situation is a little bit less. Like I don't understand it as much as if they have like some moral obligation that they.
It makes
come
sense
upon.
to me if a woman is trying to pursue a long-term relationship as her primary prerogative, because that's how we biologically are wired. We want stability for our potential offspring, and if we are making decisions based off of that, like I think most women have the sense that like if they're going to get into a long-term relationship with somebody.
Okay.